Welcome to Movie Nerds' first podcast, the only podcast with everyman nerds. I'm Tommy Bolden.
And I'm Taylor Salen.
Welcome.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing excellent. I'm actually happy that we're finally getting to do this.
Yeah, it's exciting. So we're
Yes,
gonna be bringing a lot of cool stuff for you guys that we're gonna be talking about. Specifically, you guys in the group. There's a few things that we posted about that I thought would be interesting to talk about. So do you want to take it away with our first topic?
Yes, first topic today is the death of Roger Ebert. Very sad.
Yeah, he will be missed.
Yeah, he will be. Whether you liked him or you hate him, you had to respect him for his opinions. And, there was a lot with him, and he did a lot. He actually did a lot for the movie industry. So, there has to be that level of respect for him at least.
I completely agree with you, man. He was, we chatted a little bit about this beforehand, and I was one of those people that, grew up watching at the movies with Siskel and Ebert. It was kind of one of those things, two thumbs up. He coined that phrase and made it like a movie term. It's just like in the movie dictionary. Um, but I was never really a fan of his writing, especially in the last few years. I just never understood his style. I guess. I don't really know what it was about him, but
Yeah.
I definitely respect him. Like you said, he had a huge impact on the movie industry, and it's just sad to see someone that influential go.
Yeah, he was battling cancer for a very long time, past 10 years, I believe. It was to the point to where he couldn't really talk anymore or anything like that, and that's pretty bad. But, if you don't know who he is, I'm sorry. Like Taylor said, I grew up watching him on the television. Um, in the Gazette here, which is the local newspaper, he had an article every Friday about the new movies that were coming out and how he rated them. And it was normally on a star level, like 1 to 5 stars was what he based things on.
Yeah.
And, that was actually really big to us in journalism in high school for the people who got to run the movie side of the journalism, because we put out a paper in high school, stupid stuff like that. But, yeah, he actually won the Pulitzer Prize because he had a few books out there, in case anybody didn't really know that. So that's something interesting if anybody wants to go and pick one of those up.
It's just funny that you mentioned that because I have my Roger Ebert movie guide right up there, 2013, man, all the latest reviews. But the funny thing is I never really. It's more of a showpiece, I guess. I don't know. I got it about 3 or 4 months ago, and I never used it. But I'm not. I'm not really big one that's big on reading reviews, especially from professional critics.
Yeah.
I like reviews more from the layman's type of terms, I guess it would be. But I don't know.
Yeah. I tend to listen to just, people more than I do critics. So
There was my mom. Gonna have to edit this out. Thanks.
It's fine. It's fine. This is the first video, so we can just leave it and show everybody how everything went.
Yeah.
But if we're ready to move on,
let's do it.
We can go on to two things that are pretty much one and the same. Number one is Jurassic Park 3D is coming out in theaters this weekend. And, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I will be seeing that again because Jurassic Park was the first movie that I ever saw in theaters. And I remember it, one reason because when I was a little kid, I loved dinosaurs. And the other reason was because we had one theater in town. And when we went to this theater, I remember walking in, you walked in through some glass doors, and then there was the concessions, and then they had a hallway, because they only had 4 screens. And the hallway that you walk down, well, the hallway, they had the actual, like, paper version of the Jurassic Park gates. And I thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah, when I was a little kid. So I'm going to revisit that. And we said that to bring you the fact that Jurassic Park 4 is going to be made.
Mhm. Yeah.
I will not say anything else.
Yeah, so the reason I thought we should take a have a talk about this is for one simple reason. Funniest story ever. I was reading. I have it up here. I hear it. Now let me just go ahead and read it. Paleontologist and consultant Jack Horner hypes new Jurassic 4 dinosaur. So now it's gotten so bad that they're just telling you what kind of dinosaurs are going to be in it before they've even made the movie and have a script. So I just thought that was interesting. It said, let me see. Yeah. Uh, Let me continue on here. So I guess it says Jurassic Park 4 is moving forward with Colin Trevorrow. That guy has a hard name to say, but he directed Safety Not Guaranteed, which was actually one of my favorite movies this year. So that gives me a little hope, because I thought he actually brought a really interesting, I don't know if you've seen Safety Not Guaranteed, but it's about a guy who basically puts an ad into a magazine and a newspaper saying that he's seeking someone to time travel with him. He's seeking a partner, And as a story, these journalists, they go and they try to, see if he's really a time traveler or if he's just making it all up. But it was really good because it was comedic. It had, really nice dramatic moments, good acting. He showed a lot of promise. So that gives me a little bit of hope. But what are your thoughts? What I really want to know is, what are your thoughts on Jurassic Park 3?
Jurassic Park 3 or
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 4?
Jurassic Park 3, because we all know that's like
You
the
want my
dividing
thoughts on
factor.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park 3?
Yeah, that one's a
I
doozy,
can
right?
tell you exactly. I can tell you exactly what I think about Jurassic Park 3. It is absolute garbage. That's exactly what I thought about.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you want me to be really down and dirty, I didn't like Jurassic Park 2 either. And there you go.
See, I have to disagree there. I think there's things to like in Jurassic Park 2. There's a lot of things to like.
Well,
There's a lot of that Spielberg magic. I don't know how
yeah.
long it's been since you've seen Lost World, but that sequence where the trailer's being like falling off the cliff and it's slowly and they're trying to get out, and oh man, that scene, it's great. But I can
I mean, I
understand.
really, I really, I appreciated it. I mean, I did. But, after I saw it the next time or two, I just kind of just lost it. Cause I was like, oh, we're back in Jurassic Park. This is where all the magic happened, when I was a little kid. And,
Yeah.
there were more raptors and now there's 2 T-Rexes and, there's more dinosaurs than ever. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And one of my
Mhm.
favorite scenes is where the dinosaur that had like the hard head, like it hit the guy in the door and like knocked him out of the car. I was like,
Yeah.
that's so cool. But,
But
and then I watched it again and I was like, why is Vince Vaughn in this movie? So
why is Vince Vaughn in Psycho? That's the eternal question right there. Um,
why did Psycho get remade? That should be
yeah,
the
that's what
real
I'm
eternal
saying.
question. But Jurassic Park 3, I didn't like it. You may have liked it.
No, no, I think it's a piece of garbage. I actually never saw Jurassic Park 3 until about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Um,
Oh,
and
wow.
I was just getting into being a huge movie nerd. And at that point, I wasn't the kind of guy that would be like, oh, I heard it was good or I heard it was bad, like through the
Yeah,
interwebs, but
yeah.
I I own it, but the only reason I own it is because I have the Blu-ray set. And the only reason I have the Blu-ray set is for
Right.
Jurassic Park 1. um,
Yeah, that's like I would just buy Jurassic Park 1. I didn't care if it was Blu-ray or not. I'd rather just
yeah, it really irritates me now though, because that's another thing when you buy box sets, it's like they did the same thing with the Alien anthology. Like a year or two later, they
yeah.
released the movies individually. Like they're finally coming out as in single discs now. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
But
I saw that, but I showed you that I actually got that whole Alien box set for
hmm
Christmas. My mom surprised me with that. She was like, "I know you're such a huge Alien fan, so here's the whole anthology." And I was like, "Wow, Mom." if you only just know that I just liked 1 and 2, but, number
Eh.
3 is, eh, And speaking of which, if you guys have not played this, I don't care what anybody says, this game is freaking awesome. It's suspenseful, it's scary, and you're fighting aliens. You play Black Ops too much. Leave it alone. Give this game a break. It's really good. But you
uh,
know, other than that, so I think the next topic should be the big movie that's coming out this week. It should be one of the biggest movies this year, money wise. The reviews are kind of, everybody is going, normally everybody goes their own separate way, but a lot of people are going either completely over the top with it or everybody's just kind of bottom of the barrel with it. And like I said, I have to be the judge for myself. So I'm a huge original Evil Dead fan. That's the movie we're talking about. And, for them to go ahead and proclaim that it is the scariest movie of all time is really, that might push it for me a little bit, but, the original Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell, the original, not Evil Dead 2, the original Evil Dead was, to me, was absolutely terrifying and still is. It's still scared. It was the first time they used those type of special effects, and
mhm.
the camera on the board going over the car and in the
Mhm.
woods and the loud noises in and out, and the dude getting stabbed or the chick getting stabbed in the ankle with the pencil. Ugh, but this one looks this one looks pretty crazy, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it when I go see it tomorrow. So
Um, well, yeah, I've, for a little history for you guys that don't know me, that are not in the group or were viewing for the first time, but I have always been an Army of Darkness guy. That was always the first Evil Dead, even though it's not technically an Evil Dead movie. It's part of the trilogy, but um, I grew up watching that movie. I saw it maybe when I was 10 or 11 years old and instantly fell in love with it. You figure at that age when a movie's called Army of Darkness, it's going to be the scariest thing ever, but it was the funniest thing ever, and that's what I loved about it. It was so different because growing up, I know you're a huge horror guy, Tommy, but growing up, I was a
yeah,
big
I am.
horror guy. Like, I was the man with
Yeah,
horror. And I've kind of, floated away from that more recently and tried to broaden my horizons, if you will. But I'd actually never seen the original Evil Dead until after I saw Army of Darkness, and second one for, as a matter of fact. But as I was just telling you, man, I haven't seen the first Evil Dead in probably 10 years. I mean, it's been an eternity. And I think that's kind of a good thing in a way because I won't have the expectations of the original to hold me down when I do go see this movie. Um, but I have to say, I was able to also see some footage for the movie at WonderCon that I just went to this last weekend. It was in Anaheim. It's a big convention, the sister con to Comic Con, so it's a little smaller, a little more intimate, a lot more comic book artists there, and a lot less of Hollywood. But they did have the Evil Dead panel, in which Bruce Campbell displayed his awesomeness. He is, I mean, people idolize the guy, and you can see why because he's just. I recorded it, so I'll be posting it on the channel here as soon as I can get things figured out. But the footage they showed at the panel was pretty intense. I mean, the funny thing is people were screaming, jumping. Uh, it was very gory, very, very gory. I don't know how this movie didn't get an NC-17 to be honest. But the funny
that
thing was,
actually was a shock for me too.
yeah. But the thing after that is this footage was intense. Like even for me as a guy who can withstand a lot of gore and stuff, I'm not really into torture porn, but I can handle it. And it was just insane. And they were like, this is like one of the first 20 minutes of the movie, like this is just getting started. And I was just like, wow, man, that piques my interest. So, I had an interest in it before. I'm just worried about the script, to be honest, man. I don't know if you're a fan of Diablo Cody at all, but from what I understand, she wrote the script, and she has a very distinct style. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Well, from what I heard was she really wanted to make it her own, but she didn't want to piss anybody off. So
Yeah.
she wanted to keep a lot of the stuff from the original. And one thing I noticed is like from one of the early readings is she kept
Hmm.
one of my favorite things from the movie, which was, the camera on the board going over
Hmm.
the car and all that. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's amazing. But yeah, just just watching the trailer just gets me and my sister are going to go see it tomorrow when she gets off from work,
Nice.
and she hadn't seen the trailer yet, but she's a really big Evil Dead fan and she likes Bruce Campbell, and I really like
Hmm.
Bruce Campbell. And Bruce Campbell, if you're watching this, no homo, I love you. But and I also love My Name is Bruce. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but that's a different story for a different day. But I really I really seeing the last bit of the second trailer where she took the knife and ran it down her tongue. I was like, oh my god! And then I was
All
letting my
right.
sister look at it. And she was like, I don't know if I can do this. I was like, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it tomorrow.
All right.
You
All
already
I
told me
gotta
we're going.
say, all I
So
have to say is that was part of the clip they showed us. So that tells
yeah,
you
that.
how insane this movie gets.
Oh
That's like a third the way through the movie, or they said it was really early on. It's crazy.
yeah, it's gonna be pretty gnarly.
But what
So
but what was
I
also
think it's
interesting, I just want to say one more thing. What was also interesting is the director noted how he wanted to use special like practical special effects rather than using CGI and green screen, and taking that like old
yeah.
school approach like Sam Raimi did. And I think that is what's really going to set this movie apart, because it's going to hold up, like the original still does. But I don't know, I just wanted to throw that
Yeah,
in there because it was an interesting tidbit. So
yeah, and I actually appreciate more movies now who don't use CGI than I do movies that do, because
mhm.
I feel like if you have this big budget, why not pour it into the makeup and the special effects, instead of, oh, the computer can do it. Now, forget the
Yep.
computer. The computer does everything nowadays.
Yep.
Go out, if you're a young director, go out, find your landscape, use the money for the special effects, and just do what you have to do. Don't worry about the CGI. And,
Yep.
there are some movies that absolutely have to have it. And then there are just some movies who just use it because they can. And I think that's really terrible. But,
Yeah.
I I think I may already be a fan of this movie. And
Yeah.
after seeing Texas Chainsaw 3D, I don't think anything can let me down anyways. So
Oh man, I wasn't gonna touch that one with a 10-foot pole, dude. I mean, seriously.
I'll go there. I'll go there because I watch bad horror. I watch good horror, But
That's cool.
that one was a monumental letdown. And it took them like what, 2 years to make that? 2 years,
That's
wasn't
fast
it?
by Hollywood terms, though. So I mean,
Yeah,
a movie's
yeah.
lucky if it
That that's
gets made to script to screen in 2 years. But maybe that's why it wasn't so good.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like it took them 2 years. Like, why did you even? Why? Like,
Yeah.
I guess it was just for money. So, you know, if you
And
think
he.
about it, they actually did it smart too, because there were no horror movies coming out.
Mhm.
The Oscars were about to hit. All the Oscar movies were in theaters, so they kind of snuck it in there and was like, "We'll make some money because everybody wants to, everybody's tired of all the Oscar stuff."
Well, and
Smart, good for them.
everybody knows January is the dump month too. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true too. I saw a lot of pathetic movies in January,
I didn't see any,
but
dude, because I know how bad they
yeah.
get. But that's a
Well,
story for another day.
yeah, but I think we can take this time to go ahead and sign off. I feel like the first video was a success. I really want to keep the blooper of your mom. That'll be excellent. So,
Yeah. Oh, hey, I'll keep it in there. That's fine. She was bringing me food, so what can I say?
Mom, get out of here!
Yeah, I'm like,
Can't
what
you
the
see I'm
hell?
trying to work? What's your problem?
Trying to
I'm
make that
bringing you
money.
food, Taylor. Shut up.
Oh
All right,
shit.
go ahead and go
All
ahead and
right.
sign off. Yeah,
All right.
I'm
Well,
Tommy Bolden.
this is Taylor Salen. Thank you guys for watching.